Hey everyone, welcome to the weekly wrap only on KENS 5 Plus. I'm your host, Audrey Castellano. Let's get some of your biggest stories of the week. At number 5 in our countdown today, the people who run the State Fair of Texas are now responding to the low turnout last year. A Dallas City Council committee grilled them as members got a breakdown of fair data. A little over 2 million people went to the fair last fall. It's the lowest turnout in the past 10 years. Officials say the biggest factors were the cost of tickets and parking, along with what vendors were charging. But they also cited concerns from immigrant communities that ICE agents would be circulating on the fairgrounds. Fair officials promised the city they'll lower the price of parking and work to get other costs down.
There are certain items we control, there are certain items that we don't.
Correct.
The items, as far as vendor pricing goes for food and beverage and rides and games, we don't control those prices, but we're going to have some very difficult conversations with our vendors to make sure they understand the need to get this down.
Despite the low turnout, State Fair officials told the committee they donated nearly $1 million to philanthropic efforts and gave out more than $1 million in college scholarships. At number 4 in our countdown, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is updating its recommendation for childhood vaccines. Under the new guidelines, the CDC now recommends children be vaccinated against 11 diseases, down from 17. The American Academy of Pediatrics is pushing back, calling the change dangerous and unnecessary, and say it will continue to issue its own vaccine guidance. And we are now 1 week into 2026, and for those of us who made New Year's resolutions, it's go time. As KENS 5's Jeremy Baker reports, taking care of health is at the top of the list for those looking to make positive changes as the new year is just beginning.
Most of us have big goals when we want to make a lifestyle change, but breaking up those goals into smaller ones can typically make those goals appear more attainable and help you reach the end goal with greater ease.
Resolutions can be hard for people to stick to, mainly because they're vague. So if we're actually more specific with our health goals and describing them or even writing them out, we can have a better chance of reaching that intended goal.
Instead of saying, I want to lose weight this year, try making your goal more defined. Such as, I want to lose 10 pounds by cutting out sweet tea and jogging for 20 minutes 3 times every week, and use your past goals as a guideline.
Hindsight is 20/20, so looking back or reflecting on goals can help to identify patterns, which habits maybe have worked and which ones didn't.
A 2024 Pew Research survey found 3 in 10 Americans made at least one resolution that year. And after 1 month, 1 out of 8 people say they did not keep any of their resolutions. And 4 out of every 5 people say their resolutions concerned their health. Harvard Health has these tips to help your resolutions stick. Dream big to help inspire others around you. It'll help you reach your goals too. Commit yourself through a written or verbal promise. Give yourself a reward, but try not to make it food. Understand what areas truly need change, and don't be afraid to try goals you haven't reached in the past.
Also, identifying realistic goals based on your lifestyle and motivation. So make those tweaks along the way. See what's working, see what's not.
For more about ways to help you stick to your New Year's resolutions and attainable health goals for 2026, we have links with this story on KENS5.com. In the studio, Jeremy Baker, KENS 5.
The weekly wrap is back after this.
Go ahead. Take a look at the faces of San Antonio Zone. When you look into their eyes, you see passion, you see hard work, you see familia. Generations of people who embody a rich culture of respect, honor, and originality. We're all in San Antonio, but more importantly, San Antonio is in us. It's what makes us special. It's why we're proud to be San Antonio's own.
A broken vehicle fixed after 5 months of no help.
KENS 5 made it 100% better.
A busted windshield fixed after getting the runaround from a contractor.
And you guys did it. Y'all were amazing.
A much-needed tax refund this man couldn't access. Yep, fixed.
KENS 5 actually helped me out quite a lot, actually.
Have a consumer problem you can't solve? Call KENS. Weekdays at 6 on KENS 5.
Got a problem, call KENS. They will solve the problem.
My name is Sue Kalberg, and I am a journalist for KENS 5 for 22 years. I think it's been an awesome privilege to be able to work in the town that I grew up in. My uncle, Rex Stanley, was the very, 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 very first guy hired at KENS 5. From the beginning, I said, you can get paid for that? Let me in. It fills my heart to be a part of the Kens family because the Kens family is the San Antonio family. I am San Antonio's own Sue Kalberg.
We want to get you breaking news right now.
Here, let me show you the police activity. New insight into a deadly police shooting.
We just got an update from fire officials. We'll continue to keep you updated.
Stream extended coverage, live or on demand, right here on KENS 5+.
Welcome back to the Weekly Wrap. At number 3 in our countdown, a trial is now underway for former Uvalde CISD officer Adrian Gonzalez. Now, he faces 29 counts of child endangerment stemming from his response to the 2022 mass shooting at Robb Elementary School. 19 students and 2 teachers were killed that day. At one point, the case was rocked by a claim from a former teacher that testimony the defense says they never knew about until it was said in front of the jury. Gonzalez's lawyers pushed for a mistrial, but a judge denied it. You can follow the trial on all of our platforms. At number 2, there are new developments in the investigation into the death of a Texas A&M student. The family of 19-year-old Brianna Aguilera has now filed a $1 million lawsuit. Now, the allegations are that Aguilera, a minor, was overserved while tailgating before she fell 17 stories from an Austin apartment. The lawsuit was filed against the Austin Blacks rugby team and UT Latin Economics and Business Association, which organized the tailgating event. The family's attorney, Tony Busby, said other minors were also overserved.
Was with Brianna on that balcony when she went over the balcony. Who was and why did she go over the balcony? That's the question, and the police don't seem to be interested in the answer to that question.
Austin police have said Aguilera's death was a suicide, something her family rejects. Austin police issued a statement in response to the lawsuit, emphasizing the case is still active. The medical examiner has not yet shared a cause of death. And normally, you expect to mail something and you get it within a day or two. But a North Dakota woman got something very unexpected in her mailbox. It was a letter from 1953. Reporter Jody Kursman explains how that happened.
Anna Mock doesn't get a lot of surprises in her mailbox.
Bills.
So imagine the Kintyre woman's shock when she discovered this letter in her stack of mail.
This was a doozy. I had to really look at it and study it. I couldn't believe the date on it.
The date? June 10th, 1953.
So
the letter appeared in Anna's mailbox 3 days before Christmas 2025.
It went out via airmail.
The letter was addressed to AVARP and Ann Gross. There's no address, just Kintyre, North Dakota.
What's the chances of it after 73 years?
The seal was broken, and Anna couldn't resist reading the letter.
Last night we had a memorial mass for
the writer, Ben.
Good morning.
Details his daily life in the Army.
Reads like they were going into battle.
Anna has lived in the Kintyre area her entire life. She knew exactly who the Gross family was.
They come from a very large family.
The Gross family farm is just down the road from Anna's. Valentine Gross, the V on that envelope, now lives in Bismarck.
I'll carry it across.
He'd seen this letter before.
There were about 300 men.
It was one of dozens his older brother Benedict wrote while in the Army.
We wrote a lot of letters.
Valentine kept them all.
Well, I grew up in the 30s and we threw nothing away. And we saved everything.
Turns out the letter Anna received was among those he'd saved.
Mechanic.
Last fall, Valentine mailed all those letters back to his brother Ben, who now lives in Georgia.
I stuck them all in an envelope, taped it, put my name on the front and the back, and mailed it.
Weeks later, Ben received the envelope, but the contents were missing.
The envelope made it, but nothing in it.
Now the letters are slowly being returned. One ended up with Anna. Another brother received a few more.
So there's about 15 missing. Colonel showed.
Valentine hopes that one day all those letters might also find their way back.
This is now Wednesday.
Jody Kursman,
We hope so too. An amazing story. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Go ahead. Take a look at the faces of San Antonio Zone. When you look into their eyes, you see passion, you see hard work, you see familia, generations of people who embody a rich culture of respect, honor, and originality. We're all in San Antonio, but more importantly, San Antonio is in us. It's what makes us special. It's why we're proud to be San Antonio's own.
Talked to this police officer, and she told me to call KENS 5.
Every week, KENS 5 is looking out for San Antonio's own.
The next day after you left, they sent a professional AC guy, and my AC's working now.
If you've been wronged by someone,
it was shocking. Clearly something went wrong.
Or a business,
I couldn't believe it was happening.
Just call KENS. Weekdays at 6, only on KENS 5.
I got my vehicle back. I'm rolling again, so call KENS 5 to help you if you need help too.
Born and raised on the northwest side of San Antonio, Texas. Generations of my family have been from this part of Texas. I have Fiesta roots, I have Spurs roots, I have Texas Fighter roots. Played basketball at Clark. Basketball was a huge part of my life for 16 years. My comfort dish, a plate of chilaquiles with salsa verde. I grew up watching KENS 5. I am who I am because of this beautiful city. I hope that they can find a sense of pride knowing that their creation is helping deliver them the most important news of the day. I'm Alicia Nieves, and I'm proud to be from this beautiful city.
If you want a meal that will make you say,
so good!
That is fantastic.
Catch Neighborhood Eats, where we find the best local restaurants. Streaming now on KENS 5 Plus.
All right, welcome back. Right now we want to get to this week's Quick Hits, where Meredith Haas talks nanoparticles and watching plants breathe.
So we thought that Ozempic was like the go-to when it came to new ways to lose weight, but scientists are finding that there could be something better. Some studies are showing that weight loss surgeries are outperforming GLP-1 weight loss drugs. This is a study done over 50,000 patients, and it shows that those who had the surgery lost about 58 pounds on average, while those who took the drug lost about 12. And magnetic nanoparticles, those are being used to possibly fight bone cancer. Researchers have developed a magnetic nanomaterial that can kill bone cancer cells and support bone regeneration at the same time. And moving over to plants, apparently scientists can now watch plants breathe. Basically, they can track how much carbon and water they exchange with the air. And this breakthrough could help unlock crops that grow smarter, stronger, and become more drought resistant. How does that help us? Well, we would be able to have more crops. Thank you for watching this week's Quick Hits. I'm Meredith Haas.
She always has interesting stuff. All right, and at number 1 in our countdown, we turn to the latest with Venezuela after the capture of former President Nicolas Maduro. President Trump this week claimed the United States is temporarily in charge of Venezuela. Also developing this week, we've learned Venezuela is handing over between 30 million and 50 million barrels of sanctioned oil to the U.S. The president made the announcement on a social media post. He said the oil would be sold at market price to Americans, and that revenue would be controlled by him, benefiting both the people of Venezuela and Americans. Meanwhile, Nicolas Maduro and his wife appeared in federal court this week. The couple was taken into custody over the weekend during a U.S. Special Operations raid. They were accused of drug trafficking and working with gangs labeled as terrorist organizations, both of which they've denied. International backlash is growing, with world leaders questioning the U.S.'s role in the arrest. And now the president is also intensifying his focus on Greenland. His administration discussing options for how to acquire the mineral-rich territory, saying it's a matter of national security. Well, thanks for joining us for this week's episode of the Weekly Wrap, only on KENS 5 Plus. Be sure to join us next week. We'll see you then. Bye, guys.